Let's be honest. We live in an age of exhaustion. Burnout isn't just some buzzword. It's the reality for millions of us. It's that constant, nagging feeling of being overwhelmed, disconnected, and spiritually exhausted. It's your sense of purpose slowly draining away, leaving you feeling like you're on a hamster wheel, running hard, but going nowhere. As the proverb says, fall down 7 times, stand up 8, yet many of us feel like we can't get up a single time more. We try to patch things up with new productivity apps, weekend getaways, and the latest mindfulness fads. But they're just band-aids on a much deeper wound. The modern world, with its endless notifications and culture of toxic hustle, feels like it was designed to drain us, to shatter our attention until there's nothing left. But what if the answer isn't in another app? What if it's hiding in the disciplined world of the ancient samurai? These warriors lived on the razor's edge of life and death, where the consequences were immediate and brutal. And yet, their code, the philosophy of Bushido, gave them a powerful antidote to a problem they never had: burnout. Their whole way of life was engineered to forge unwavering purpose and mental clarity. This is how their ancient principles can defeat the soul-crushing exhaustion of modern life, not by teaching us to work harder, but how to live with intention. Before you can find the cure, you have to understand the disease. For today's professionals, burnout isn't about laziness or a lack of ambition. It's the exact opposite. It's a crisis born from a relentless, often celebrated pursuit of excellence. It's the hidden epidemic among high achievers who have tied their identity so tightly to their work that there's nothing left for themselves. Success masks the suffering, but behind the accolades lies a profound depletion. Your capacity to push through fatigue, a skill that brought you success, becomes a liability, causing you to override your body's own warning signs. Your mission, once a source of inspiration, becomes an all-consuming fire that burns away your personal life, leaving you feeling cynical and emotionally numb. You're not distracted by cheap dopamine. You're trapped in a cycle of preemptive failure anticipation, constantly anxious about the next project, the next target, the next metric. This isn't a failure of discipline. It's the consequence of a life where your worth has become inseparable from your output, where rest feels like a betrayal of your potential. Burnout is the bill that comes due for a life of sustained overperformance without sufficient restoration. The world of the samurai was the exact opposite. It was a world where being weak or unfocused wasn't just a bad habit, it was fatal. Their mindset, forged by the code of Bushido and the philosophy of Zen, was a masterclass in resilience. The samurai didn't have the luxury of waiting for motivation to strike. They lived by strict, non-negotiable standards. As one saying goes, vision without action is a daydream. Action without vision is a nightmare. Their world punished weakness instantly, forcing them to build an inner strength that didn't care about their feelings or what was happening around them. At the very heart of this was Bushido, the way of the warrior. This wasn't just a rule book. It was a complete system for living and dying with honor. It gave them the structure, the purpose, and the mental tools to stay calm and deadly serious in the middle of chaos. The samurai knew that real strength wasn't about being emotionless, but about doing the right thing despite your emotions. They trained their minds as fiercely as they trained with a sword, using principles that are shockingly relevant to our fight against burnout today. Let's look at 5 of them. The first principle And arguably the backbone of the samurai mindset is chugi, loyalty and duty. For a samurai, this meant total devotion to their lord, their clan, and their code. This wasn't blind obedience. It was a deep commitment that gave their lives an unshakable foundation. It was their honor and their identity. A samurai never had to wonder what his purpose was. It was external, defined, and absolute. This gave them a powerful reason to be sharp that most of us are missing. And that's where we get into trouble. Without a higher purpose to serve, we end up just serving our own fleeting moods. Our loyalty is to whatever feels good in the moment. The samurai's dedication to chugi teaches us a critical lesson. You have to find your own lord to serve. Now, this doesn't have to be a person. Your lord can be your craft, a set of core values, your family's well-being, or a mission to leave this world a little better than you found it. To put this into action, you need to consciously decide what you are loyal to. Write it down. Is it truth? Is it excellence? Is it protecting and providing for the people you love? Once you define your chugi, your decisions get a lot simpler. When you're at a crossroads, you no longer ask, "What do I feel like doing?" You ask, "What does my duty demand?" This simple shift moves the focus from your shaky feelings to your solid purpose, building a powerful wall against the aimlessness of burnout. Most of us wait for inspiration to strike. The samurai knew that inspiration is a flaky friend. They lived by standards, not feelings. That's the core of their discipline. They didn't ask, "Do I feel like training today?" They asked, "What is required of me?" The answer was always the same: train, serve, and follow the code. It was a discipline with no room for negotiation. A Japanese proverb reminds us, even monkeys fall from trees, meaning even experts can fail. So one must never stop training. The samurai created what you could call a warrior environment. They used rituals, fixed schedules, and structured routines to take choice out of the equation. This wasn't about being a robot. It was about saving their mental energy for what really mattered: strategy, combat, and self-mastery. When your actions are already decided by your standards, you don't waste energy arguing with yourself. The decision is already made. Your tired, lazy, comfort-seeking self doesn't get a vote. To use this today, you have to stop negotiating with your weaker self. If you decide you're waking up at 6 a.m., there's no snooze button. The alarm is a command, not a suggestion. If you commit to an hour of deep work, you sit there for the full hour, even if the words feel like sludge. The legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi became a master not because he always felt like it, but because he lived by a simple rule: the way is in training. By setting non-negotiable standards for yourself, you build a structure that holds you up when your motivation inevitably disappears. Discipline isn't a feeling, it's a choice you make once, and then execute every single day. Our minds are a mess. We're constantly overthinking, worrying about the future, and replaying the past. This mental chatter is exhausting, and it's a direct line to burnout. The samurai aimed for a state of mind called mushin, which means no mind or mind without mind. A Zen proverb says, "The mind is like water. When it's turbulent, it's difficult to see. When it's calm, everything becomes clear." Mushin is that flow state, a state of fluid, intuitive action, free from the static of fear, anger, or ego. It's when your mind isn't stuck on any single thought, allowing you to be completely open and responsive to whatever is happening. On the battlefield, this was essential. Hesitation meant death. Through practices like Zen meditation, the samurai learned to let their thoughts and emotions float by like clouds without getting attached. They trained themselves to act from deep intuition, not from slow, clumsy calculations. In our world, the constant flood of news, social media, and notifications makes our minds anything but still. We can cultivate Mushin by intentionally carving out moments of stillness. This can be formal meditation, but it can also be a walk in the woods without your phone, focusing on one task at a time, or even just sitting in silence for 5 minutes. The goal isn't to have a blank mind, but to stop being bullied by your own thoughts. When you practice this mental clarity, you learn to respond to life's challenges with a calm, focused energy, instead of reacting with a frazzled, burnt-out mind. You learn to trust your instincts, just like the samurai trusted his sword. Modern culture is obsessed with comfort. We want to eliminate every trace of hardship, boredom, and pain. The samurai did the exact opposite. The principle of you, or courage, wasn't just about being brave in a fight. It was about willingly embracing discomfort as a tool for growth. As a proverb states, it is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. They knew that steel is forged in fire, and a warrior is forged in hardship. Samurai would intentionally expose themselves to difficult situations, fasting, training in the freezing cold, going without sleep, to build their mental and physical toughness. The famous Ronin Miyamoto Musashi spent years wandering the wilderness alone, rejecting all comfort to perfect his art. He understood that greatness comes at a price, and that price is paid in the currency of discomfort. They trained to be effective even when they were exhausted, hungry, or scared. We can apply this by voluntarily introducing small, controlled doses of hardship into our lives. Take a cold shower, try intermittent fasting, do a workout that truly pushes your limits. When you intentionally choose discomfort, you start to recalibrate what your brain considers hard. Another proverb says, "After the rain, the earth hardens." Suddenly, the daily annoyances and stresses of life lose their power over you. You're teaching your nervous system that you can handle stress, that discomfort isn't a threat, but a signal that you're growing stronger. This builds real confidence and an inner strength that is immune to the petty frustrations that lead to burnout. The final principle is meiyo, or honor. To a samurai, honor was worth more than life itself. But meiyo isn't about your reputation or what other people think of you. It's about living in a way that allows you to respect yourself. It's a deep integrity that comes from making sure your actions line up with your values. As a proverb says, dishonor is like a scar on a tree, which time, instead of effacing, only helps to enlarge. A samurai's honor was the total sum of all their choices, the ones in public, and especially the ones in private. This is a powerful weapon against that imposter syndrome feeling that often comes with burnout. When what you do is out of sync with what you believe, it creates a constant, low-level internal war that just drains your battery. Living with honor means doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. It means keeping the promises you make to yourself. The samurai believed that if you truly respected yourself, discipline would follow naturally. You wouldn't betray your own rules or waste your life on things that don't matter. To apply meiyo, you first need to define your personal code of conduct. What are your non-negotiable values? Honesty, excellence, compassion. Then, you have to hold yourself to that code. When you live with honor, the fear of what other people think starts to fade away. As the samurai believed, it's better to try something great and fail with honor than to succeed at something meaningless. Focusing on your own inner scorecard, not external validation, creates a deep, stable sense of self-worth that burnout can't even touch. The path of the samurai was anything but easy. It was a path of discipline, purpose, and relentless self-improvement. Their world was brutal, but their code gave them a kind of psychological armor that we, in our age of comfort and distraction, have almost completely lost. They never suffered from burnout because their lives were intentionally designed to prevent it. Their purpose was clear, their discipline was absolute, and their minds were weapons of clarity and calm. As a final proverb warns, after victory, tighten your helmet strap, reminding us that the work of self-mastery is never truly done. We may not be fighting duels with swords, but we are fighting our own modern battles. The battle against distraction, the struggle for meaning, and the war against the profound exhaustion of a life without purpose. The principles of Bushido, Chugi, Yu, Meiyo, aren't just historical artifacts. They are timeless tools. They are a blueprint for building an unbreakable mind. By defining our purpose, embracing discipline, cultivating clarity, welcoming hardship, and living with honor, we can do more than just survive the pressures of the modern world. We can forge a warrior's mindset and finally defeat burnout for good. The samurai knew that discipline isn't something you achieve once, but something you practice every single day. If this dive into ancient wisdom for modern problems hit home for you, subscribe for more content on philosophy and self-mastery, and let us know in the comments, which of these 5 principles do you need to start cultivating in your own life?